Well, good morning, everybody. Wow. Well, I know that last week, just this past week, a lot of you have graduated from whatever grade that you were in, right? How many of you are actually done with school? Like Friday or something was your last day? All right. So, big relief, right, guys? Last week was also the week that children's ministry, if you're new to our church, we have several different congregations. The elementary students, they have a children's congregation. Last week was their last week. And this week, starting from this week, the children's ministry have moved to join us here in the English ministry, which is the youngest being from 7th grade all the way up to Uncle Mike, right? And so from 12 to 55, And so just curious, are there any new 7th graders here with us this morning? Anybody? Hey, there you go. And what's your name, buddy? What's your name? Jonathan. That's right, Jonathan. So I know there are a few more that are coming up, at least 3 more coming up, but they're not here this week. But we want to welcome you, Jonathan, to our English ministry, all right? So good to have you guys with us. We're excited. We get new blood, youngsters into. So we'll the average age of our congregation is going to go way down. Okay. So today is also, we're having a special thing this morning. All right. In the English ministry, we have our pathway for personal growth, and we call that DTS, Discipleship Training School. A lot of you have been in it for at least a year and a half. And the goal of DTS is to help ourselves be disciples who can in turn make other disciples. That's the goal, all right? Help students be disciples who make disciples. Can we all say that? To help students be disciples who make disciples. So a person who is not making disciples can't be called a disciple. They're called a believer. But a disciple of Christ is one who obeys the Great Commission and is actively sharing Christ with others and winning people to the Lord. And so that's the goal of DTS. And of course, this goal of DTS is going to take many years to attain. All right, it won't happen in just 6 months or 1 year. It's actually going to take many years, which I assume you guys are still going to be here after many years. And as a measure of growth, of our spiritual growth, we are using the karate belt, all right, to reflect our level of spiritual growth. One reason is that, this is more of a personal reason. I'm a huge fan of martial arts, watching Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and Jet Li growing up. How many of you are martial arts fans? Anyone? Yeah? 4 people. Oh. Okay. And so that's a big part of me. That's my language. Like martial arts, that's my language, But I'm just a fan. I'm not a practitioner, okay? But more importantly, I think martial arts reflect our Asian culture, our Asian discipline. And so as an Asian church, I find it fitting to use a karate belt or whatever. You can look at them as taekwondo belts or jiu-jitsu belts, kung fu belts. Doesn't matter, all right? To measure our spiritual growth. And so from all the way from white belt all the way up to a black and red belt, okay? And so to achieve to the next level, to get the next color belt, each student must complete 30 DTS units. And on top of all that, you have to either go on a mission trip or lead a friend to Christ. All right? And you also can earn extra credit by volunteering and serving in ministry, like on the worship team. By the way, that was such an amazing, awesome worship set. Don't you guys agree? That was so refreshing. Thank you, Serena and the worship team. So helping to serve in ministry, if you open up your home to host a small group or attend different conferences, you can gain extra credit through that as well. Okay? And so when a student completes these 2 criteria, they will be awarded with the belt, which recognizes their dedication and achievement and service to the Lord. You may be asking, is it like some kind of gimmick? Is it like easy to accomplish? No, I'm telling you, it's not easy to accomplish. All right, the bar for DTS is set pretty high on purpose. And I want you to know that when you graduate from a level of DTS, that you have earned your belt. You have earned it. And these belts can't be bought. So don't come to me to say, oh, these belts are so cool. Can I buy one, for like $10? No. We're not selling the belts. You have to earn it, all right? It's like being in the Marines. And also people have asked, like, well, what about the mission trip that I did 3 years ago, or the service I did, or the person I led to the Lord 5 years ago? Does that count? Sorry, no, it does not count, because we don't want to live in the past. It's about the here and about the now. So it's about what you are doing now to develop your personal growth in the Lord. All right. So next, I want us to understand what the different colors of the belts mean. If you guys took martial arts, maybe you understand some of that. But we're using the karate philosophy, which is pretty cool. I'll tell you about it. So the different colors in karate symbolizes the stages of life in a growing seed, in a seed. So in this metaphor, we are all like seeds. Okay? It is the circle of life. We are the seed. And in martial arts, the longer you practice, the more you'll see yourself changing, like physically, mentally, emotionally. You're growing just as a plant does, just as a plant grows. And so in the same way, the more that you study and apply the things that you learn in DTS, the more you will see yourself change from a seed into a plant. All right, you could see kind of like the cycle of life of a plant, all the way from birth all the way to death. Okay? And so the white belt, what does it mean? Well, white signifies the beginning of life. So you are a seed, kind of like under the white snow. And you are a beginner searching for the knowledge of God. So the white belt student begins their study in DTS. So if you've enrolled in any DTS class, we have a system for you. You're in the system already, if you have been in at least one DTS class. Okay? And so, but we're not awarding white belts like that. That's kind of like, it's too basic. So just assume that if you've enrolled in DTS, you are a white belt, and we're beginners searching for the knowledge of God. Yellow belt. Well, yellow signifies the first beams of sunlight which shines upon the seed to give it new strength. All right, remember, we're a seed, kind of underground, so the yellow signifies the sunlight, kind of like this huge bright light over here that's shining in my eyes. And the yellow belt student is now considered a disciple giving their first ray of knowledge, beginning to understand the heart of God and willing to step out of their comfort zone for the things of God. So you have to go on a mission trip. That's stepping out of your comfort zone. You have to pray and try to share Christ with one of your friends. That's stepping out of your comfort zone. Okay? So that's what the yellow belt signifies. At minimum, this is where we're at. Okay? Well, moving on, the orange belt represents the growing power of the sun, like the physical sun, but metaphorically also the sun, Jesus Christ, as it warms the earth to prepare new growth for the spring. So the orange belt student is growing in their sensitivity to God, able to discern God's desire and also to obey. So an orange belt student is actively discipling at least one new believer. So you yourself, you are the seed, you are the disciple, you're the first generation disciple. But an orange belt will be able to disciple at least someone else, and that is considered the second generation of disciple. Then we move on to the green belt, and for green belt, you need to earn 90 units or more. And so the green signifies the growth of the seed as it sprouts from the earth, reaching towards the sun and begin to grow into a plant. So at this stage, you're no longer a seed, now you're a plant. And so a green belt student now has a clear purpose in life. And you also have a well-refined shape. Remember what shape is, right? That's your spiritual gift, your heart, your ability, your personality, and your experience. And so you're proactively serving to meet the needs of others. And a green belt student is actively discipling at least 2 new believers. Okay, that's what so green is awesome. And then We go on and reach the blue belt, which takes 120 units. Blue signifies the blue sky. As your green plant grows, it's trying to reach to the blue sky. So that's the blue. And at this stage, the student is seeing the world with new eyes. He's getting new perspectives. He's reaching higher. And he has new optimism. So he sees new vision for life. He's seeing from above, from a 30,000 feet altitude perspective. All right? And they have a new vision for their life. And so now, a blue belt student is actively discipling still at least 2 new believers. Then at the purple belt, you can kind of see it, all right, it's 150 units. And so what this symbolizes, as the day gradually turns to the night, maybe around like 5 or 6 or 7, the sun sets on the horizon and the sky kind of turns purple, right? So that's like the beginning of darkness. So it's a stage of the day. And so purple is also royal color, symbolizing royalty, and the student is perfectly secure in their identity as a son and daughter of the Most High King. Therefore, unshakable in the trials of life, maintaining their joy in God. All right. By the time you hit purple belt, you should be very secure in your identity. And a purple belt is actively discipling at least 3 new believers. Okay. And then we move on to the brown belt, 180 units. As the darkness increases, by now it's like nighttime, right? The plant humbly bows down, as you grow up. This is the cycle of life. You grow up and you get older and you start to the plant kind of starts to fade and bows down to the brown soil where it comes from. So brown belt does not forget their humble beginnings. The student now exemplifies humility and is nearly empty of pride. And according to John 3:30, the prayer of the brown belt is that Jesus, must increase and I must decrease. And the brown belt is now making 3rd-generation disciples. What does that mean? It means that the person you're leading is now leading others to Christ. That's what it means, 3rd-generation disciples. All right. And then the black belt, 210 units. And so the cycle of life of a plant ends here. A plant grows, but a plant also dies. But death is not the end. So a black belt student has learned to die to self. Die to self. Jesus was saying to all of them, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake, he is the one who will save it. So Jesus is saying, if you want life, you have to die to yourself. Pick up your cross. The cross was a death execution tool. Pick up your cross, be willing to die to yourself, and follow me. All right? So that's what it takes, to die to self to earn your black belt. And a black belt is still making 3rd-generation disciples. Sometimes we would think the black belt is the highest achievement, but in karate and also in jiu-jitsu, it's actually not the highest. The highest is actually the red or the red black belt. And this is an honorary belt. And the red belt is awarded to the person who has produced 4th-generation disciples. It means that they have great-grandchildren in the faith. And it's according to 2 Timothy 2:2. Paul. Imagine Paul. He's Saul of Tarsus. He became a believer through radical means, right? So Paul says to Timothy, the things which you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. So in this verse, you can see Paul, he's the 1st-generation believer, probably in his family, right? So he mentors Timothy, that's his spiritual son, 2nd generation. Then he wants Timothy to teach it to other faithful men, 3rd generation, so that they can teach it to others, 4th-generation disciples. And so this is an honorary belt. If you can do this at any stage of your life, we give the red belt. That means you have created a disciple-making movement. Is it easy? No, it is. This is very difficult. Okay, but let's say you only have 40 units, but you're making fourth-generation disciples. We award you with the red belt. Okay. So today, we have our level 1 graduates. We have, I think, 11 people. Not all of them are here, but here they are. And as I call your name, would you just come up? Teresa Lee, Zoe Lee, Ruth Shea, Nathan Su. Yeah, you can clap for them. Elias Fang, Justin Lai, Daniel Chow, Chris Guo, Minnie Lin, Harold Labiga, and me. I graduated too, okay? KC Liu. And so let's just stand up here. Actually, stand on the stage if you can, okay? And I'm going to invite our DTS coordinators, Julia and Jerry, and also our elder, Peter, to come up to help award the yellow belt. All right? Here you go. Yeah, you guys can kind of pass it out to us. Yay. You're probably thinking, why is the pastor getting one? Well, thank you. It is because I don't want you guys to do things that I'm not doing. You know, I want to be a pastor who, if I ask you to do something, I'm willing to do it myself. And so that's why I'm also in the system as well. So I'm earning my yellow belt today. And so congratulations, guys. You guys have worked hard. It took them 1.5 years to earn this yellow belt. So this is not an easy belt to earn. All right, this is probably the hardest belt to earn. The following belts are probably easier. And so what I'm going to do now is to teach you guys how to put this on. All right? And if you have trouble putting it on, Elder Peter, who's a Taekwondo black belt, he will help you fix it as well. You probably didn't know that about our Elder Peter, didn't you? He's a Taekwondo black belt. Okay, so you take your belt, you open it up, and so you hold it like this. Okay? So it's even. Now you wrap it around your belly from the back, to the back, and come back up to the front like this. Got it? Okay. Put one side, doesn't matter which one, over under both belts and come out this way. Did I lose you guys? Okay, I'll do that again. So you're like this, right? So how about, to make it easier, right side of the belt goes over the left side, under both belts, and pull it back up. There you go. Elias, under both, not just one. Okay? And then, watch, one is high and one is low, right? Your left side should be high. This is the high end. The right side is the low end. Flip the low end so it faces the ground, like this. And then take the high end, loop it under and over, and tie it. Okay? Very good.
Oh, got it? Oh, good.
Like this and then back. Whoa.
Sure.
Did I do it?
Whoa.
There you go.
Wait.
Yeah. Good. Okay. There you go. Okay. Very good. And so, there you go. We have our yellow belt graduates. Let's give them a hand. So we're going to do a little karate pose, all right? So just use your right hand. Grab your belt like this with your right hand. Grab it on the side. Grab, all the way. And then put your hand up in a fighting stance. All right. Everybody do it. And so we could, strike a pose. Come on. All right. I think Isabella is going to take a picture for us. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Good job. You guys may go back. The belt is yours. The belt is yours. By the way, by the time you hit the blue belt and every belt above, you're going to have a personalized embroidered name. Your name's going to be on the belt, all right, once you hit blue belt and above. All right, so I'm just going to speak with my belt on. We'll have graduation probably every 6 months. So around Christmas time, if you have achieved 30 units, you'll be awarded with a yellow belt as well. Okay, so don't give up. Keep going. All right.